Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to Vlogmas episode 10 and an actual proper sort of vlog entry, if you like, to the month and to sort of see what's happening. So just to explain, I've just come back from a team tennis match. I was playing for the men's team of my club, and we ended up coming away on an away match with a 1-1 draw. So not too bad, but I kind of feel like it was a good opportunity for me to kind of sit in front of the camera and mainly for myself really just kind of record kind of what happened and where I can try to sort of improve in future matches. So it was kind of frustrating because the way that the formats of these matches works is that you have 4 players, 2 teams of 2, and you basically will have a first pair and a second pair, and you'll play against the opposition's first pair and second pair, and then you swap over. So in total, every doubles team plays 2 matches basically. So we ended with a 1-1 draw because the last 2 matches got called off because of the rain, which is really annoying in some ways because I kind of feel like we would have come away with a win if we'd been able to play the other 2. So our other pair won their first match. I and my doubles partner, we actually ended up losing our first match, but we lost to who I thought were the better pair. So we could have done arguably a little bit better in the next matchup, and you know, who knows, we could have come away with a win. But we almost did, because me and my doubles partner, we actually lost on a match tiebreak. So that kind of makes it even more gutting, really, to be honest, to do that. But in some ways, I was really pleased because we lost our first set 6-2, and it was pretty straightforward, really. We weren't playing well. I was struggling with the conditions. I think we were both struggling with the wind. I was definitely struggling with the court itself. The ball just did not want to come up off the court. It was bouncing so low. And also the wind was kind of making it really difficult because, you know, one end of the court you only had to touch the ball and it would fly away, and then on the other end you could hit it as hard as you like and it wouldn't go anywhere. So constantly kind of having to adjust and try to adapt. But the balls were really flat almost. They didn't really seem to want to bounce, and the court was really slow. It just had nothing in it. And where I've not played a lot of these kind of team competitions, and I'm not necessarily used to having to make those sorts of adjustments, certainly compared to like 10 years ago where I was playing these kinds of matches all the time and it was a bit easier to make those adjustments. Now I don't do it enough, so I become a bit sort of set in my ways, as it were. And that kind of then makes it really difficult to then make those little adjustments. So I struggled with the court, struggled with the balls, struggled with the weather, couldn't serve particularly well in that wind either. I felt like I was being really tentative on serve, went for a couple of bigger serves and some landed and some didn't, but overall the first serve percentage was really bad. So it's no surprise really that my serve was something that I'd need to work on in the future. It's never been great, so it's not really a surprise, but I know it can be better than what it was today. Similarly, on the return side of things though, I felt like it took me a set to kind of figure out a way to kind of break down the opposition serve, and I felt really frustrated because I know I was a better player than both of that pair, and I know I was fitter, I was technically better, and I know that I was way more experienced than the other guys. They were older than me, but they definitely haven't got the same level, if you like. But I couldn't take advantage of any of it because I couldn't land my shots where I wanted them to be. I couldn't hit through the ball because I just didn't get the bounce where I wanted it to be. So my accuracy was off. I couldn't make the most of the fact that all you ever had to do to win a point against those guys was just put spin on it. That's literally all you had to do, and I couldn't handle it. And I couldn't then get the ball in the court when I wanted to try and do that, which is a combination of things, but overall just conditions generally. Weather, court, balls, it just didn't really work out. So I felt quite glad that after an even worse start for me and my partner, it was much, much better in the second set, which we then won 6-2. Felt like we were getting to grips with the court a little bit more, and I was starting to expose where their kind of weaknesses were. They couldn't rally with me to save their lives. The difficulty was it was getting into the rallies that was the problem. Points were really, really short, which made it more difficult to kind of get into gear with it. So overall, I was glad that we came away with that set, and frustrating to then lose it on a match tiebreak, which I think we lost 10-4. Yeah, we were 4 points to love up and then lost 10 in a row. But you know, ultimately never felt like we were actually in control of that game in a match that we should have been. And I think if we'd been playing at home on courts that I know and courts that I'm used to and a bounce that I'm used to with decent tennis balls, I felt like we would have done a lot better. So there's a lot of frustrations in there. and I think we were playing their better pair. So had we not been rained off and gone into the next match, I kind of feel like we would have been a lot better off, and we could have come away with a win. So yeah, overall just really, really frustrating, but at the same time, I still actually, despite my complaining, did actually really enjoy it. I liked being back on the court again. It's been a long time since I've done a match like that, probably best part of a year. So yeah, it was quite good, and I want to try and do some more. Traveling is always a bit of an issue for these things as well. I don't like to go that far. This one wasn't too bad because it was kind of like everyone was driving past my house to get to the venue, so it was kind of a bit of a no-brainer that it just picked me up on the way. So didn't mind playing down there in Selsey. Quite a nice little club. I just don't like their courts, all the balls that they use. So there we go. Yeah, I think if it had been a home match at Worthing, it would have been much different story, and I felt like we would have done a lot better. Certainly I would have played better, and would have put us in a good position. So you never know. You move on and focus on the next one. So hopefully I've got tennis on Tuesday, and try and work on my serve a little bit, try and get a bit of consistency, which is kind of a waste of time because then we'll stop for Christmas and then have a massive break and try and pick it up again in January. I think the next team match is in January, which I'll try and be available for, but I think it's at a club. It's an away match again, which is quite far away. So anyway, yeah, I just really want to kind of document that for my own benefit, really, just so that I've got a bit of a place I can go to kind of look back on this and sort of digest what had happened. And certainly, yeah, working on the serve, trying to adapt a little bit better, trying not to get frustrated with the fact that the court is not bouncing the way that I want to. I'm glad that I was starting to pick up on their weaknesses though. It's just frustrating that I couldn't take advantage of that, but I feel like part of that was because I was just struggling with the weather, which obviously I can't control. And yeah, if we'd been able to play a full match and the weather had been different, then, you know, we might have having a very different story. But having said that, I still could have served my way out of trouble quite a lot and didn't. So work on the serve. Yeah, try not to worry about it too much, because I know that we were a better team. I'm sure that we were a better team, and I think on a different day we would have done all right. So yeah, not too bad overall. Just got to sort out that serve, because you get a lot of free points, and we did get a few. I think in that second set I was serving better, but by the time the match tiebreak came around and you're a lot tighter naturally because of the pressure, it kind of just was a bit of a thing. But I need to be able to serve my way out of trouble sometimes. So there we go, something to work on. But overall, not too bad. I did enjoy it. I just came away with it thinking that I've left things on the court that leave question marks in your mind, and you wish you could go back and you could have another go at it. We're told that we can't go back and play the matches that we didn't get to, because basically we played the two and that's when the rain came, so we couldn't then go and play the next two. So it goes down as a 2-2 draw. Which, yeah, in an ideal world would go back and would play the other couple of matches to try and come away with a win, because I genuinely believe that we should have come away with a win there, and we would have done if we'd done all of the 4 games. But anyway, doesn't really matter. So there we go. That's for future me to kind of come back and listen to, and yeah, work on your serve and try to be a little bit more, I suppose, flexible with ground strokes. Problem is, when I play with the same people on the same courts all the time, you just get used to the ball being in a particular position. So yeah, I just need to learn to adapt a little bit more. It's all right when you're playing a lot, so maybe that's the thing as well. I need more court time, need more time on court, more match time, definitely. So there we go. I just wanted to get that documented for my own benefit. And with that said, I'll leave it there, and that will be the end of the episode. Not your usual episode for Vlogmas. This is really just for my own benefit. So with that said, I'll see you guys real soon. Please subscribe. I very rarely will ever talk about tennis on this channel, but I needed to kind of, yeah, get this out. So there we go. I've done it. It's done. Finished. So back to normal Vlogmas. We'll resume tomorrow. We've got to put the tree up and get that decorated. I need to test the lights, which I might go and do in a minute, and maybe film what happens later today and then put that up tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon.